All right, Nathan, we're going to be doing Sam Raimi films, so I figured we'd talk about Spider-Man, starring Garfield.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, wasn't it amazing?
No, that's not the Sam Raimi one. You got the wrong one. Where's the VHS tape I gave you from 2 skits ago? You lost it?
I am still looking for it.
2 skits later, you still don't have a VHS player, Neves?
I'll be right back.
You're not taking this podcast shit serious. Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 142. I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves. To my left.
Thank you.
Today, we are going to be discussing the great Sam Raimi and his weird filmography, because he does have a very, very unique filmography.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you go from his earlier work to like the 90s to post Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like that he didn't just do the same thing.
No.
I like the fact that he took chances but still kept his style in a good majority of his movies, to be honest with you. The ones that I saw, because I wanted to see some new ones from him that I haven't seen yet, and you did the same as well. You watched a couple, so...
Yeah, I was happy that we did this episode, because not only did it was a reason for me to go back and check out Evil Dead, which I had not really seen.
Oh, man, yeah.
I got to see some different ones that I had never seen, like for example, A Simple Plan.
I want to talk about that.
That's a movie I hadn't even heard of.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed.
I saw that on your Letterboxd, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should watch this too, because I noticed that it has a much higher rating than a lot of people are like giving it credit for, where it's just like, oh, wait a minute, like this is up there with like the Spider-Man films for him.
Exactly.
So.
When I was researching, for this episode, getting prepared for this, I just went on Letterboxd, I looked at his page, and this was up there in one of his highest rated films. I'm like, I literally never heard of this movie ever. And it worked so well, but we'll get into that for sure. But let's start in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
with Evil Dead.
Jeez, it's one of those movies where it's like Texas Chainsaw was low budget, directed by an unknown guy. Same with this one.
Yeah.
And it was young. It was like him, Bruce Campbell. They were all like in their teens. They're like, oh, let's just make a horror film.
Yeah.
And it actually went to theaters. It made a lot of money considering the budget.
Yeah, like no money.
Fucking insane. And you watch it and it's like, yeah, you can tell. However, the personality and the characters, it's just like something about this stands out from a lot of the schlock that was coming out at that time.
Yeah, the charm is there. Mm-hmm. You can tell there's a lot of new things being tried. Like there's a lot of chances being taken with the cinematography and some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it is dated. Looks a bit cheap, whatever. But giving the context, like, you can really appreciate what Sam was able to do with Evil Dead and Bruce Campbell, and you start to see the beginning of his style form.
Yeah. What's really cool too is I think it was college he met with one of the Coen brothers. Like they're like friends. They've been friends for like decades now.
And collaborators. They've collaborated on a few films as well.
Yeah. And it's cool to see that because, like, again, the Coen brothers, they make some really good fucking movies as well. But they're so distinct from each other and how their careers went on. I feel like Sam's was a lot more underground in a way, while still being able to have his own style, even with bigger budgets as the years go on. So, like, you compare Evil Dead to Evil Dead 2, to me is like a crowning achievement in terms of best sequels, in my opinion. What did you think of like the other Evil Dead films?
So I've only seen 1 and 2.
Okay, what did you think of 2?
I like 2 a lot more.
2 is so good.
Obviously, a little bit more money behind it.
Right.
The characters in 2 I liked, but just like the ghosts and like the scare, like they looked so good. It was actually scary, I think Evil Dead 2 hits it on the head. Like, you really see with some more money behind it, and you see Sam's just his experience is just getting he just got better. You see that he became a better director.
Yeah.
And I think Bruce Campbell also became a better actor.
Oh, dude.
Between those films.
I fucking wish he was in bigger movies after this, because that moment where he's like saws off the shotgun, does a
Oh
little flip,
my God,
and
it's like
says groovy.
action star.
That's a John Wayne, like that's an iconic action star movie moment.
That scene is so good.
I can't imagine if you saw that in theaters in 1987,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be cheering.
Yeah,
Like, come
exactly.
on. The whole fucking crowd would.
I love it because he cuts it and it doesn't just break off. He's got to hit it, bang.
Yeah.
Groovy.
It's great. I personally, out of all the Evil Dead films, Evil Dead 2 is my favorite.
Yeah, of course.
I know a lot of Army of Darkness fans. If you ever want to see Evil Dead 2, it's like that, but more comedic. Army of Darkness.
Okay, I didn't know how Evil Dead 2 ended.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm
It
like,
ends like that.
wait a second. Bro went back in time?
Yep.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe they went that far. Like, obviously, Evil Dead is over the top in general, but I'm like, I couldn't believe they went that route, but I just also felt like it worked.
I think Army of Darkness, again, it goes into even weirder territory than Evil Dead
Yeah.
1 or 2 did. I do think there are some iconic moments in Army
Right.
of Darkness, like he says, like, "Hail to the king, baby," and then he kisses her at the end. It's just like, it gets a little bit more tongue-in-cheek
Right.
compared to Evil Dead 2. That's why I kind of prefer the sequel over the third movie.
It's a good medium of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do like Ash Williams, I would highly recommend Ash vs. Evil Dead, the show on
Yeah,
Netflix.
I wanted to talk about
I
that too.
fucking love that show.
That has great reviews.
Yeah, I think it had 3 seasons. I watched the whole thing. I was like, in my opinion, that's my favorite Evil Dead anything, period. Because I feel like you see Ash, his character, as he gets older, and it's like it's done in a comedic way. I don't know why they didn't make a 4th season, because season 3 ends off in a cliffhanger where it's basically Ash Williams in like dystopian Mad Max world. Like that's how it ends.
Oh fuck.
And I'm like, dude, I want to see that. I want him to fight demons in Mad Max. And then the show just didn't get enough ratings, so they just ended it.
That's unfortunate,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, Evil Dead is interesting. I had a lot of fun with these ones. Definitely rewatchable films. Good
Yes.
films to watch with a group of people. Just like got some friends over, throw on an Evil Dead. It's a
Yeah.
easy, fun watch that
Get
you
some
can laugh
drinks,
at, make
yeah.
some comments about. You know.
Oh yeah.
I think those work really well. But yeah, going into his stuff after Evil Dead. So Evil Dead commercially, both all 3 of them were successful.
I think Evil Dead 2 was the most successful. Army of Darkness made a little bit of money, nothing too crazy. Like not enough for people to be like, "Oh, make a 4th one." It's
Yeah.
like, no, we're kind of done. And Sam Raimi moved on from it, and he worked on other types of movies. I think the next one after was Darkman. If I'm,
Oh, it was Darkman.
yeah, I saw that
I'm
one.
trying to.
Darkman was Liam Neeson, I believe. Liam Neeson was in it, and a few other actors. It is the best way I can describe Darkman is it's a Spider-Man prototype. Like you get a lot of that influence. I think that's the first film, if not.
Oh, so he did Darkman actually after Evil Dead 2, before Army of Darkness.
Oh,
He did it in 1990, and Army of Darkness came out in 1992.
Oh shit! Because he got Danny Elfman to do the score for that, and that would have been a year after Batman.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman worked together since, of course, the Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it started with Darkman. Was he did the score for that, and I like it. I like Darkman. It's very stylistic.
That's one I haven't seen.
Yeah, very gothic. But it's gothic, and people are like, "Oh, it's kind of like Tim Burton." He's like, "No, man, you still get those weird Sam Raimi-isms, where it's just like Liam Neeson. He's trying to win a game, and he's like, I want that pink elephant," and the guy's just like, "Nah, man, you cheated. You went over the line."
I've seen that scene.
Yeah. Take the fucking pink elephant. And it's just like this Oscar-winning actor, Liam Neeson. I don't know if this was before or after Schindler's List, but you see the range that he was able
good.
to do.
He's good in this movie.
I
still?
fucking love it.
'Cause
Yeah.
To me, Liam Neeson, he's either really good or really bad in a movie.
No. If this is back when Liam Neeson wasn't in like 50 Taken movies.
Right.
Like I would say this is definitely a highlight. But as we go into the 90s, like post Army of Darkness, Sam takes a lot of interesting choices.
Yeah, I mean, after Army of Darkness, he does a Western
Yep, Quick
called
in the Dead.
Quick in the Dead
Saw that
with
one.
Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe, and Sharon Stone. Crazy cast. I mean,
Yeah.
Now I think he's finally like he's getting really respected in Hollywood. I feel like after Evil
Yeah.
Dead 2, I think people started looking at him as a real director.
For sure.
And he started to get, some big actors in his films
Mm-hmm.
with, Liam Neeson, Gene Hackman. These are some huge actors, right?
Yeah.
And I have not seen Quick and the Dead, so you could speak to that.
Quick and the Dead, imagine Sergio Leone film, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but on crack.
On crack, eh?
Yeah, that's how I would best describe it, because the shootouts are like are like Evil Dead kills.
Oh, wow.
Like, dude, when spoilers, but Sharon Stone is seeking revenge because she finds out that Gene Hackman was the man that killed her father, who was the sheriff. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna, Mexican standoff type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is mano y mano. And the way she shoots Gene Hackman is so Sam Raimi. It's like they shoots him in the chest, and it's like just a hole, and it goes through him, and you could just see the
You
bullet.
see through?
Yeah, and then she shoots him again, and he fucking flips like an Evil Dead monster.
I
I
love it.
fucking laugh my ass off. It's great. Leonardo DiCaprio's great in the movie. Sharon Stone's amazing. Russell Crowe's in it too. It's like, holy fuck, this is an awesome cast. I think Keith David's in it too. He has a
Wow.
brief appearance. Highly recommended. It's the only Western Sam Raimi film, and I'm glad I saw it.
Again, a big chance from Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s. How many westerns came out in the 90s? Like, I can't think of that.
I think
many.
Unforgiven.
Yeah.
But Unforgiven was like Oscar. This is not Oscar. This is Sam Raimi having fun
Yeah.
with a Western movie, and
Exactly.
I wish more people did that. Like Bone Tomahawk. Like, not everything has to be like the most dramatic thing ever. Sometimes you just gotta have fun with it,
Yeah.
and that's what I really liked out of that movie in particular.
And then 2 years later, in 1998, we get A Simple Plan, which is a movie we both watched for the first
Yes.
time. Stars Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, and Bridget Fonda.
Yeah.
And this movie is fucking good. It's really good.
I couldn't, because that's the thing. You look at the title, you look at the poster, like, oh my god, is it one of those
The
like?
poster sucks.
It sucks. It's all there. It's just their faces,
Yeah,
right?
and over a black background, it's like a really like the lowest effort poster you could ever make.
It reminds me of like the poster for Clerks. But the reason why the poster for Clerks looks like that is because Kevin Smith had like $5. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know, take a picture of us,
Yeah.
black and white. And it's like, the poster sucks. That's why I wasn't interested at first when I saw it. I was like, oh, what is this? Is this like one of those indie?
That's how I felt too.
depressed.
But I'm like, the ratings are high. I was reading some of the reviews. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna give it a chance, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
The premise of this movie, I could just read the tagline here.
Yeah.
3 blue-collar acquaintances come across millions of dollars in lost cash and make a plan to keep their find from the authorities. But it isn't long before complications and mistrust weave their way into the plan. So basically, there's a cover-up to try and, let them keep the money, and then they keep having to do more and more cover-ups
Yeah.
because people keep getting, more suspicious and more onto them, and it ends up being fucked.
You know what this gave vibes of? Breaking Bad.
Okay, yeah, I see
Kind
that.
of.
I see that.
With
And-
the whole like Walter White character getting
Yeah.
worse and worse and worse. Bill Paxton gets worse and worse and worse when it comes to like, no
Yeah.
one's getting hurt. Nobody, and then like right away, shit hits the fan.
This is a premise, a film that we've seen before 100 times.
Yes.
But it's a good version of it. It's a crime thriller that, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They're just trying to keep the money and hide, cover up their tracks. But it keeps getting more fucked, and the way things unfold work really well. And the performances are really good. Billy Bob Thornton is so good in this
so good,
movie.
yeah.
His character is so memorable.
Ah, man, it's so sad at the end too, man.
Oh, man.
God damn, they really got me there too. Because it's
Yeah,
like,
right?
because at first you look at his character as like, oh my god, this guy's just stupid.
Yeah.
He's making the dumbest choices. But then when you find out more about his character, you're like, oh my god, it's like you feel so sad for
Quite
him.
sad. You think he's the dumb comedic relief character,
Yeah.
right? But he's not. This guy actually had a really sad life.
He only had like that one friend.
Yeah.
And like the friend was an alcoholic, unemployed, didn't work or anything. It's just like this movie gets more dour as you think about
and
it.
You're right. The ending really makes this movie good.
Yeah. Oh my god. I totally thought the way it was gonna end was gonna be like the guy in the plane, he's like, "Oh man, it's him."
Yeah.
When Bridget Fonda is calling him, I love that scene, and I'm thinking, okay, I think I know what's gonna happen because as they drive to the plane area, Billy Bob Thornton shows up. He's like, "Why are you here?" "Oh, Grace." I mean, I felt better. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. Bill Paxton's probably going to almost get shot by the guy, the not FBI guy.
Yeah.
And then Billy Bob Thornton does the heroic sniper shot to the head. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, all right, that's how the movie ends. No, it's way more depressing than that.
I thought that too because you know he's around, but they don't show him for a while.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, he's gonna come out, save the day, whatever, right? But it's way more depressing and way more clever, well written.
I love that.
Really pulls on the heartstrings at the end. Like it's really emotional.
Yeah. Everyone's great in this. I like Bill Paxton, like, like rest in peace. Holy shit. Every role I've seen that guy in, whether it's comedic, dramatic, or anything, it's just like he fucking nailed it. I wish he was in more leading roles like this because he does a really good job.
Yeah.
As playing like the everyman that just gets worse and worse and worse.
Very good.
With greed and just like controlling everything. It just
This is
doesn't
such an underrated film. I mean, if you take anything from this episode, take this movie.
Yes.
Take this recommendation. A Simple Plan, directed by Sam Raimi, is a film that you need to see. I feel like it's a very obscure film.
I agree. Top 3 for me, definitely his most underrated film.
Yeah.
I don't hear anyone talking about this. I understand Spider-Man, Evil Dead, but give this one a chance. It's different from those movies, but it still feels like Sam Raimi. Like the one part I realized was the shootout with the guy, the shotgun, because he was gonna get blackmailed or whatever. The way that he dies and his wife are very like Evil Dead, like, oh, like pull him back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go comedic because of that. Because when I think Quick and the Dead, how they die, I'm like, holy shit, it's so over dramatic that you laugh at it.
Feels comedic.
This was like shock.
Yeah.
Like I was shocked of when it happened. And I feel like that's how he utilizes those moments. It's not just the same tone over and over again.
There's a lot of good shock moments in this movie.
Yeah.
And with a premise and plot that seems predictable, they find ways to make it unpredictable. Works really well. That's a great film.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
A year later, he makes For Love of the Game.
Now, this one I didn't see.
I watched this movie so many times as a kid. I had no idea that this movie was directed by Sam Raimi until last week.
Really?
I had no idea. Well, I've been a baseball fan my whole life.
Okay.
So I've been watching sports movies always. This is one that used to play on TV a ton.
Wow.
This movie even used to play on YTV sometimes.
Really? I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it stars Kevin Costner as an older pitcher trying to get like back in the league or whatever. And it's kind of bad. Like,
Well, because when I think Kevin Costner in baseball, I think Field of Dreams. I've never heard of this film, and when I saw it and it was directed by Sam Raimi, it's like this looks like something directed by a whole other director.
yeah, it doesn't feel very Sam Raimi. I'll tell you that. I love the baseball sequences. I hate Kevin Costner's character is kind of just a dickhead for no reason.
Oh, geez.
And they have a lot of romance that it drags a little bit too much. Sam Raimi, I don't think is the best at doing romance, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, like it depends on the context again.
Yeah.
If it's solely like that, because I think of like movies like Spider-Man and
Okay, he does it great there. that's true.
even Quick and the Dead has this like brief moment with Sharon Stone and Russell Crowe because it's kind of like their last day before the shootout type of thing. It's like moments like that work because of the tone, but I don't like sports drama.
I couldn't believe that this was directed by Sam Raimi. I couldn't believe that my whole life. I didn't know that. But yeah, I watched it many times. I mean, Ebert gave it a 1.5, a 1.5.
Yeah.
And Costner won a Razzie for it.
I don't think it's that bad.
But
is it?
it's kind of bad, bro. But I'm a sucker for sports movies, and the cast is pretty good. J.K. Simmons is in as well. John C. Reilly's in it. So there's like a good cast in it.
J.K. Simmons, he would later work with him. In,
A year later, he's also in The Gift.
was that any good? The Gift? Because
That's one I haven't seen.
Okay, because I remember like great cast as well.
Yeah.
But was that the film right before Spider-Man? Right before it went like insane?
What I'm thinking here is like which movie do you think Marvel saw and was like, this is the guy that we should get to direct Spider-Man? Because I feel like he doesn't have it.
Quick and the Dead, probably.
Quick and the Dead, you think?
Quick and the Dead, because it's really fast paced. It's the most action related
Yeah.
of directing and stuff like that. I maybe Darkman, because Darkman's like comic booky.
Right.
But aside from that, there's no fucking way like you watch A Simple Plan and be like, that's the guy who should do our Marvel comic.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It's such an interesting choice, a bold choice from Marvel.
Yeah.
Considering Sam's filmography up to this point. But man, I'm so glad that they did, because the holy trilogy of Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 is my childhood. It's a big reason why I love film now, and it's the greatest superhero. It's some of the best superhero movies ever made. 1 and 2, I think. Yeah.
I'm so glad that Sam was able to make not only this trilogy, but his Evil Dead trilogy, and they're distinct from each other.
Yeah.
I feel like they're like very distinct in style, in everything like that, while also people being like, I love the Evil Dead trilogy, and I also love the Spider-Man trilogy, and it's directed all by him. It's not like some bullshit where it's like, oh, we got another person working on it. Oh, it kind of changed. It kind of detoured. It's like, no, not really. Maybe you could argue Spider-Man 3, but it's still a Sam Raimi film.
A lot more studio interference with Spider-Man 3, especially with, wanting the mess of villains that the studio really wanted to include.
Yeah.
I guess sell merchandise or whatever the fuck, but
I think after that, Sam's like, you know what? Fuck it.
yeah.
I'm doing a horror film after this. And I don't know. What do you think of his post Spider-Man career?
See, I haven't seen much of it, to be honest. Like, I did not see Drag Me to Hell. I mean, I know Spider-Man 4 was supposed to be right in between these, and we never got it. And I think that's a big crime. I would have loved to see another one, but I'm like you said, I'm glad he got the trilogy.
Yeah.
They're great films, and they'll be remembered forever.
Yeah.
But Drag Me to Hell, have you seen this? Like,
no, but from the trailers, it kind of gives off like Evil Dead vibes.
Yeah.
It's very goofy while also being like in your face type of thing. That's the thing too. I love the Evil Dead films. I have not seen the remake or the new one.
Me neither.
And the reason is Ash Williams is what makes the Evil Dead film so cool. So it's like seeing the remake and seeing the new one. It's like seeing Indiana Jones without Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I'm not that interested. Like, we liked it for Ash Williams and for Sam Style. Both
That
of those,
too,
I
that-
think are really important.
Yeah.
And when you take those out, it's like, sure, it might like technically look better and the effects might look a little scarier or whatever, but I don't know. I'm just not too interested. I'm sure they're okay, but
Yeah, it got good reviews, but I may give it a chance. I've just not
Yeah.
been that interested.
I didn't even see Oz the Great and
I saw
Powerful.
that.
Yeah, how did you feel
Yeah.
about that one? Tough one.
It's fine. It's like,
So it's a prequel to Wizard of Oz,
yeah, it's a prequel to Wizard of Oz, but it's not Wicked.
right?
It's the other prequel where James Franco plays Oz, and he is not good in the film. Very like this cast is terribly miscast. Like
Yeah.
Mila Kunis plays the evil witch, and I'm like,
It's a really weird cast.
what?
Feels like an
'cause she's
SNL
trying
skit cast
yeah.
or something.
Well, she's trying to be a villain in the movie, and I'm not convinced. And
No.
James Franco's like the very optimistic. I'm the it's like, but it's James Franco, so it's like he's trying to act like Walt Disney in the movie, and it's just no, terribly miscast. Clearly over budget. The movie looks so fucking expensive. I don't know if it's like a Disney film, but they put so much fucking money into it, and it's not that.
Did it make money? I wonder if Wicked's gonna make any money. I feel like the Oz franchise is one you got to put on the shelf, guys. Like,
Look, you get Wizard of Oz. It came out like 85 years ago.
yeah,
Hasn't been topped since film wise.
and won't be.
no.
Like, you understand the cultural significance of that film. It's never gonna get topped. Like, just put it on the shelf for a bit, man, until you have a really, really compelling idea.
Yeah, I fully agree. And it sucks too, because after Oz, what does Sam do? Like, he takes a big hiatus and directs a Marvel film, but not the it's the MCU.
Hey, man, the MCU diehards have said that they like multiverse. What's it called?
Multiverse of
Madness.
Madness, yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I didn't really see Sam's style in it that much.
Yeah.
People say that it does have this unique. I don't know.
They always bring up the zombie strange.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that was like
I get it.
2 minutes in a 2-hour movie.
Thank you.
Wow, cool.
The rest felt exactly
I
the
could
same.
just look that up on YouTube.
The rest felt exactly the same as every other Marvel movie. The zombie thing and the musical notes sequence
Yes.
felt a little unique. But other than this is such a small portion of a movie that felt very cookie cutter and Marvel.
If anything, it's like Oz the Great and Powerful, where it's just like any director probably would have done it that way. You don't get that style you got from like Darkman or Quick and the Dead, where it's like this feels like Sam Raimi. Oz the Great and Powerful and Multiverse of Madness, it feels like what people think Sam Raimi would do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he does the cool camera moves and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's more than that. Like, there's some heart to it. A Simple Plan isn't just crazy camera movements.
No.
It's like it's distinct with Sam Raimi, and it has this emotion, and that's where people resonate the most is the emotion.
Yeah. And now, I mean, what's next for Sam Raimi? There's talks of the next Avengers being directed by Sam Raimi. I really hope that's
I
not
read
the case.
about that too.
Is there an update on that?
Yeah, Sean Levy might be doing it, the guy who directed Free Guy,
Oh, okay.
which, Free Guy was such a great fucking movie.
Look, I just really don't want Sam to do it. I just don't think that's the move for Sam right now. I think he needs to go back to something a little bit more grounded.
Maybe something similar to A Simple Plan.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I would love to see something like that, something original like that. Like, honestly, Sam, like, I really don't want to see you do a superhero movie unless Toby's coming back for Spider-Man 4. Like, unless you guys are trying to tell that story, then I don't want to fucking see it.
It's like asking Nolan to do a superhero film, man. It's just like they
It's
did
like,
their
would
run.
you even want to see that again? Not
No.
really. I want to see Nolan do something original.
Oppenheimer is so good because
Yeah.
of how different it is. Simple Plan is so good because it's so different from other works of Sam Raimi. And I just, again, like, I'm not saying all of his films are perfect. I remember watching a movie called Crime Wave, which was a movie in
It's
between
early in his filmography.
Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. And it's a little rough, but it has the personality. It has this
finding his style.
personality that you don't get from these mega blockbusters anymore. And it fucking sucks.
Yeah. I got a couple questions. What
Yes.
is your favorite number one Sam Raimi film in his filmography?
Can I do my top 3?
Top 3.
Okay. Spider-Man 2 is my favorite of all time. Evil Dead 2 and A Simple Plan. Top 3 Sam Raimi films. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's got to be Spider-Man 1 and 2 have to be in it.
Yes.
I think third, man, I got to see Simple Plan really. shook
Yeah,
me.
man.
It's just a really solid movie. Yeah, I'm going to go Simple Plan for my number 3.
Good stuff.
I had another question, most underrated, but that's absolutely Simple Plan.
Honestly,
We've established
yeah. The movie doesn't get talked about enough. It's like Michael Mann with The Insider. It's like we gotta put some voices to movies like this because you never know. Maybe Sam will take a shot at something similar in the genre.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I mean, to wrap up, like Sam has a really scattered and weird filmography, but I like that. I like that he wanted to try new stuff. It reminds me of Coppola. In the sense, not stylistically at all, but in the sense that Coppola just wanted to do different shit. And I'm sure Coppola had lots of opportunities to do the same shit he's done in the crime world.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had lots of opportunities to do that, but he wanted to do different movies.
because it wasn't just the genre that he wanted to do. It was different stories with his voice coming out of it. Sam Raimi had his voice in Western. He had his voice in superhero. He had his voice in horror. We can go all day about it. At the end of the day, it's so distinct, and that's why people love him for it.
Yeah. I will always check out a movie that has Sam Raimi's name attached to it with all the hits and some misses that he has. I'll always check out a Sam Raimi movie, and that'll be till I die.
Same.
We'll wrap it up there. Thank you for watching this episode of the Real Talk Podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to your boys, and let us know your favorite Sam Raimi film in the comments. But most importantly, take care, brush your hair.
Peace.